I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 268, Places of Interest. Maybe we're gonna split it. But that's not places of interest. Yeah, the next thing will be landmarks. So that's just places of interest. Where we used a lot of printer paint. So places of interest, that is on page 94. While doing a leg injury prevention training, and if you participate in the leg injury prevention training, that is your risk. Places of interest. The UK has a large network of public footpaths in the countryside. We heard that some people are going hiking. The UK has a large network of public footpaths in the countryside. There are also many opportunities for mountain biking, mountaineering and hill walking. So there's a large network of public footpaths. So there's a path, and it is a longer one. It's a long footpath to walk with the feet, and they are public, so anyone can walk there. And they are networked. It's not just one, but when it comes sometime later, a second one, now you can go there or there, and all together they are networked, and you can walk from many different places by foot in the United Kingdom through the countryside. There are also many opportunities for mountain biking. So the opportunities where someone can drive with a bike, but that not flat in cities, but over some little hills. And mountaineering and hill walking. Now, next to mountain biking and hill walking, I don't know what mountaineering is, because I thought it was something like that. Mountaineering is possible. And hill walking, I did also not look up, because I came to that, what that one word here means. But I intend to do it still. There are many opportunities for mountain biking, mountaineering and hill walking. There are 15 national parks in England, Wales and Scotland. The number is not so important, the size is more important. So there are 15 national parks in England, Wales and Scotland. So these are big parks, and they belong to the nations of the United Kingdom, I guess. There are areas of protected countryside that everyone can visit and where people live, work and look after the landscape. So there are areas of protected countryside. So there are some places of countryside, there are now or very few buildings, and they are protected. It means no one is allowed to build their buildings. In general, people have to ask, I guess, if they want to build buildings. But in these areas where there's not intended to build streets or anything, that should be just nature. But they can be visited by anyone. And there are also some people living and working and looking after the landscape. I think that living there they mean then only very few people, and more or less the people who look after the forest. There are many museums in the UK. To the one in Suffolk we wanted to come before from there, to the horse racing museum. There are many museums in the UK which range from small community museums to large national and civic collections. We're going to cut that here, and now we're going to do some leg injury prevention training. If you participate in it, that is at your honors. We are starting with a little warm-upping. The tracking glider going down, the breathing in, and the breathing out, and like that. Now we're going to close the legs and out. And now we are still warming up. We're doing one leg and we're holding it high and we're pointing the foot. And we're trying to stretch our core muscles. So relax the leg. Try to pull it high. And the other leg, pulling it up and point the foot. And now we're taking the leg by the ankle, pointing it down. So we're having a neutral position in the spine to actually stretch the quad muscles. It's not about bringing the knee down, side by your head, it's about stretching the core muscles. So I have a neutral position in the spine and then stretch the core muscles. Changing the other leg. Take it at the ankle. Neutral position in the spine. So just stretching the core muscles. And now we're doing the exercise. We're having one hand on the tummy and one on the lower back. And then we're lifting one leg up. Straight line if the foot is flexed. If the quad muscle is crimped, then bring it up and point the foot. So bringing the leg up with a flexed foot and trying to bring it higher up. So control with the hands that you have a neutral position in the spine, but you don't go back. And try to bring the leg higher up. Flexed foot, don't overdo it with the force. And it's better to not get a cramp for the exercise. Flex foot and try to bring it higher. A little longer, try to bring it higher. And then bring it up and pointing the foot. And now with the other one hand on tongue, one on lower back. Then we're lifting the leg up. Straight and long leg. And flex foot. Control with the hands, but you don't fall back. Try to bring the leg higher. And then longer. And then bring it up. And then pointing the foot. Now we're doing the next exercise. Right, where we can read. So one toe points to the outside, the other one is with the heel on the ground, and we're lifting the heel off the ground and placing it again on the ground. Set up and point again on the ground, and down to too many 5 or 10 repetitions can be completely fine for you. There are many museums in the UK, and they range from small community museums to large national and civic collections. What is civic? So there are smaller museums in smaller communities, but there are also very big national museums. So if you saw one and you thought there were not many exponats, then maybe you were just in one of the smaller community museums. And there are civic collections. What is civic? It's not civil, you know. Civic collections. Famous landmarks exist in towns, cities and the countryside throughout the UK. So there are landmarks. So these are then old buildings, maybe castles. I don't know if landmarks include something like trees or something like that. The oak on which maybe Charles II hit or something like that. I don't know. So landmarks, let's just say castles or buildings, towers or something like that. And most of them are open to the public to view, generally for charge. So most of them, if people want, can visit them, but they have to pay some pounds. Many parts of the countryside and places of interest are kept open by the National Trust in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, and the National Trust in Scotland. I didn't pay attention. Many parts of the countryside and places of interest are kept open by the National Trust in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And the National Trust for Scotland is very different. National Trust in England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the National Trust, same name. So the National Trust keeps parts of the countryside and places of interest open. Anyway, both are charities, so the National Trust of England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and the National Trust of Scotland are charities that work to preserve important buildings, coastline, and countryside in the UK. The National Trust was founded in 1895 by 3 volunteers, and there are now more than 61,000 volunteers helping to keep the organization running. So the National Trust was founded in 1895 by 3 people voluntarily. And today there are 61,000 people helping to keep the organization running. Maybe that is not of all of them a full-time job. But who knows? Britain has a rich and varied heritage of buildings in the past. So the National Trust was founded in 1895. 1895 National Trust founded by 3 people. Today it has more than 61,000 helpers or people who work for the organization. And they're looking to preserve important buildings of the coastline and the countryside of the UK. So we're looking at basically the nature and also the human buildings are properly. And that is places of interest. And we're doing just a few last ones. When we're having the last exercise, 3 levels, not the last exercise. So the first one is the stamp. The first option, you have the leg in and bring it down and in and down. Flex foot and you higher the front hip so you are over the ground. The second version is with a horse. Bring the leg in and you bring it back and again in and back. And the third one is the full one. You have the leg, swing it back, and that is the third one. So now if you at your own risk choose one, you can choose one. And that exercise works a bit. So the first one, you have a long swinging leg. You're trying to have a steady stand with standing leg. You have a long swinging leg and a flexed foot. And you bring it back. The upper part of the body goes simultaneously down. And you're trying to be tall with a standing leg. Bring the pressure onto the biceps femoris muscle. That is the central one of the hamstring muscles. And try not to fall in the abdomen. And don't do too many. And we're not going to do anything new, so if you here follow the landmarks, then you can just go to the next part. And 3 last ones. Now we're changing the leg and with the other leg. While standing leg, the swinging leg down with the flexed foot. We have a part of the body goes down in a straight line. And we're trying to be tall with the standing leg to bring the pressure onto the biceps femoris muscle. Doing a few more, but do them of course at your own rate. And let's say last 3. And now the closing exercise. Breathing in. Again in. Again in. And the last round, breathe in. In and close the legs. And out. I thank you very much. And until next time.